Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the replay of my very first victory in a competition server on ACC. So I'm driving the white Audi right here. I qualified second. We're at Laguna Seca. And I ended up setting a new lap record, a new personal record during qualifying, which is never a good sign for your race, because I felt like I was definitely not, up to snuff with the other guys right up here. Because assuming they can consistently put in that kind of lap, I felt like I was gonna fall behind. But I qualified second, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we're gonna get into the race. Like I said, I did end up winning this, but at one point I went down into fifth place, and it got to the end of the race, and my tires were really bad, and I was in the lead, but I was losing my lead. I was losing the gap to the guy in second pretty quickly, so I'm going to show you that. It ended up being a relatively close race, where had it only been a few more minutes long, I may have ended up losing the lead. But yeah, let's have a look at the start. So the Porsche here is kind of the guy that gives me the most trouble this first lap. Again, I'm in the Audi right there in second place. Going through the first corner, I take a pretty good first corner, and I keep up with the Lamborghini pretty well. But my second corner, I brake late and I go wide. You can see I completely missed the apex. And that gives the Porsche just a much better exit than me. So he's able to get alongside me into the third corner. He takes a very tight line, but ends up going wide, losing a lot of momentum through that. So you're going to see I get a run on him through here, force him to go narrow, which compromises his exit out of turn 4. So coming up here to 5, I have the inside, and I'm able to pretty easily overtake him. But you'll see, again, with the run. Now, the replay's about to cut, because this is auto highlights, so it just decided not to capture the battle that took place right here. But anyway, what ends up happening, as you're going to see, is I lose second place. The Porsche gets ahead of me and gets a pretty good gap. So this is lap 7. I'll go ahead and cut back to me. Whoa, that's okay. Okay. As you can see, there's the Porsche up there. If I pull up the HUD, he's got like a 2-second gap to me. So he's done a good job to go ahead and widen the gap. But as you saw, a yellow flag here is about to happen. So it's the Lamborghini here who qualified first. This guy ended up finishing last, by the way. Or I'm pretty sure he ended up finishing last. Hold on. Let's see. Nope, second to last. He ended up finishing 5th, which is second to last because only 6 people finished. But yeah, he bends it here at the corkscrew, which, how do you mess up this corner? Honestly, it's just notorious for being one of the most boring and easy to accomplish corners in all of motorsport. I really don't know how you can screw it up, but he does. He manages to do it. He manages to let the car go light, and he lets it go around, and I see the yellow flag go off, and it kind of throws the Porsche off. He ends up going through gravel right here, but I go around, and all of a sudden I'm back in a battle for second, which is pretty exciting. Now again, for whatever reason, the replay didn't catch this, but after this, the Lamborghini catches back up to me. Doesn't take him long, since he's been behind me for a while before he catches up, and then he goes for an overtake into, I believe, turn 4. We get side by side. We kind of knock into each other a little bit. I end up spinning, and then I'm in 5th place. Now, the stint gets to sort of the latter stages of the stint, and that's whenever my tires start to go bad. So I start losing a lot of time to the guy in 4th. Now, the guy in 4th was this BMW right here. I'll show you. So this is after the pit stop, but the guy in 4th was this guy right here. It was that guy, right? Yeah, it was this guy right here. So He was in fourth place before we pitted. I pitted a lap before him. So this is my first lap out of the pit lane that you're seeing here. So currently, I'm the only car not in the pit. So they're all pitted. They were ahead of me before they pitted, except the Lamborghini. He was way behind because he wrecked again. But at the moment, I'm in first. Okay, like provisional first, because if they come out of the pits ahead of me, they're gonna, remain ahead of me. But as you can see, I passed the BMW there, and I don't know how. Maybe he got a really bad entry, but somehow I came out of this with a really big gap, and I'm in second place. So if I pull up the HUD, the Porsche is in first, but he got a drive-through penalty because he sped in the pit lane, which I don't know. Like that sometimes happens, like kind of almost randomly. I'm sure there's like a reason for it. I think it's like if you start your engine too early after getting done with your pit stop. I think if you start your engine too early, you can get a penalty that way, or if like you spin out in the pit lane, you can get a penalty. I don't know, but he gets a penalty. That's all that matters. As you can see, he's got a pretty substantial gap, which is very unfortunate for him. The BMW here, just out of the pit lane, has a gap. So again, this guy, if I pass him, I lap him. He's in seventh at the moment. But yeah, eventually the Porsche takes his drive-through penalty. I have a 4-second gap to the BMW. Remember, this is the second stint. This is an hour-long race. We're about half an hour into it. The gap goes up to 6 seconds, or near enough 7. 8, near enough 9. 9, 10 seconds. This is a 10-second gap. And we're still pretty early in the stint. We're still only a few laps into the stint. I'm gaining time. Place. Somehow I have found myself going from 5th to 1st just because of the pits and everything that happened in the pits. I just had a better, I guess, entry, a better exit, and didn't get a drive-through penalty. That's how you win in the pit lane right there. It's just don't get drive-throughs. So somehow, like I said, I've ended up in first. Again, this guy is getting away from me because he qualified first. Again, he is in 6th right now, but he qualified first. And again, you can see the gap to the BMW still, 10 plus seconds. Now it's 9. Now it's 8. You see it's starting to come down a little bit. The later we get into this stint, the worse the tires get on this Audi. And I think he was a lot better about keeping his tires alive, keeping some life in his tires, and like not just eating them, whereas I am not very good at that. So my tires got really bad. So in the early part of a stint, I had a massive pace advantage on him. Kind of in the middle of the stint, we were relatively. My tires fell off. Just, it is crazy how much time he was gaining. And so you're going to see that gap is going to come down from what was like a 10-second gap. It's going to come down to like, I think under 3 seconds at one point. I think had this race gone on another 10 minutes, he would have definitely caught me, and it would have been a question of whether or not I could have defended the position for long enough to win it, or if he would have overtaken me. But yeah, had this race gone on for another 10 minutes, very well could have lost it. It was it came down to the wire pretty much. So you can see still a 9-second gap, but now it's 7. Now it's 6. 5, back up to 6. Still 6. Where are we at? 5. 5. 5. And you're going to see rapid time loss. 3.5. Still 3. It got down to made through one of these corners. But you'll end up seeing here, this is the final lap. And I did just about stay alive, and I just about came through to win it. Again, my very first competitive server win. I was pretty excited about it. Figured I'd share it. But yeah, so it was a heck of a race. Like I said, just it doesn't look close because, to be fair, it wasn't. Like, 3.5 seconds is a pretty big gap. But if you look at how big the gap was just a few minutes earlier, I mean, you go back just a few laps, and just how rapidly I was losing this time really, I think had this race gone on for, you know, 2 or 3 more laps, he would have definitely caught me, and he would have potentially overtaken me. So yeah, it was a pretty cool. It was pretty. Just figured I'd share that. Thank you very much for watching.